What's up, guys? Welcome to Superwise. I'm John, and we have some very interesting news regarding the future of the Sonyverse, VenomVerse, Marvelverse, whatever you want to call it. So first off, DanielRPK reported that Sony is discussing a live-action Miles Morales movie, and they're discussing if they want to put it in a different universe like Venom. And when it comes to a live-action Miles Morales movie, hell yes, because I love the character, especially the one portrayed in the animated Into the Spider-Verse film, and seeing him in live action would be epic, like with Val Zod and Michael B. Jordan. I think doing a live action Miles Morales film would be awesome, a new, fresh, different take on Spider-Man. And, we got that in the animated film, and when it comes to live action, it's going to be interesting to see how they would pull that off, because you can't just copy and paste the animated film. You have to come up with a new story, reintroduce the character into live action, and I'm for it. I definitely want to see him in live action, crossing over with other VenomVerse characters. We did get that tease from Donald Glover in Spider-Man Homecoming that Miles Morales does exist within the MCU. Is this going to be a new version? Because DanielRPK is saying, do they want to make it in a new universe? So would this be in the VenomVerse proper, or would this be like an entirely new universe? It's going to be interesting because we're going to talk about Tom Holland in the VenomVerse in a second, but usually in the comics, Spider-Man is a lot older and then he dies, and then Miles Morales comes into the picture. But then in the video games, you have Peter Parker and Miles Morales teaming up, which I think is really cool, but Tom Holland is young, and whoever they get to play Miles Morales would have to be young too. So it's like, it's sort of like a Batman and Robin situation. You should have an older Spider-Man mentoring a younger Miles Morales. I don't know what they're going to do with Tom Holland, because it appears that Tom Holland will appear in the VenomVerse and maybe will stay there for quite some time. So it's going to be interesting, but I'm all for a Miles Morales movie. I would love to see him in live action. Popular fan cast is Caleb McLaughlin, I think his name is, from Stranger Things. Totally for that too. So, we'll see what goes on with this film, but I'm ready. Bring on Miles Morales. Okay, part of this was actually confirmed by Deadline, and DanielRPK is reporting that Sony is planning to do a proper Sinister Six movie that will include Tom Holland and the Sonyverse, VenomVerse Marvel characters. And I love this. I'm loving the VenomVerse right now. It's not perfect. Sony has definitely made some decisions in those movies that have been very questionable and confusing and weird, but overall I really am liking the VenomVerse. I'm loving these villain solo movies, getting to expand this universe, and it makes sense because Sony has been wanting to do a Sinister Six film ever since 2014, The Amazing Spider-Man 2. They got Drew Goddard to direct it. Obviously, he didn't. It'd be really cool if they got him back, coming around full circle with the plans. But I'm totally on board with the Sinister Six movie. I love the roster. We're going to talk about who the roster is going to be for the Sinister Six film. But yeah, I think it's really cool. The idea is dope and epic, and in a sense, we're getting the Sinister Six, a multiversal version in NoWayHome. A lot of people are saying 5, and it makes sense because the marketing is showing only 5, but I feel like there could be a 6th mystery villain, maybe Venom, maybe Mysterio, who knows? But if they don't do Sinister Six in NoWayHome, it's very weird, because Sinister 5, just add one more villain. In name only, you could do the Sinister Six, but if we're getting a proper Sinister Six movie, I guess I can let it pass, let it slide. 5 is a lot of villains that you got to reintroduce and flesh out, so I guess I get it. There are pros and cons to having a Sinister Six and having a Sinister 5, but this proper Sinister Six movie most likely is going to take place on one universe, the VenomVerse, and then just have that normal earthly roster, whereas NoWayHome is doing a multiversal version, which I think is 2 really cool ways to do Sinister Six. And when it comes to the roster for the VenomVerse, we have Venom, of course, which was teased in Let There Be Carnage. We have Aaron Taylor Johnson as Kraven the Hunter. Really cool. We have Michael Keaton Vulture. We got Scorpion from Homecoming, who I really want to see in live action. We got Mysterio if he's live. Shocker. I hope they did Shocker dirty in Homecoming. I want to see a brand new Shocker. We got Morbius. I don't know if he would be in the Sinister Six proper, because he's not in the comics. you got a whole bunch of Sony-verse, Venom-verse characters to put in this Sinister Six movie. And then DanielRPK talks about how Tom Holland is going to appear in this movie, which leads us to believe that my theory on Tom Holland leaving the MCU and going to the Venom-verse post No Way Home is going to happen. And I want to see him in that universe. I want to see him grow, be his own man, and then later down the line put him back in the MCU, because I do want to see him fully developed and then teaming up with like Shang-Chi and Luke Cage and all these other Avengers and MCU characters. I'm ready for that. I want to see him fight these Sony-verse villains. I think it'd be really cool. And then if you have other Spider-Verse characters in the Sony-verse, like Spider-Woman, which I think Olivia Wilde is directing that movie, and have her team up with Spider-Man in the Sinister Six movie, it's all really cool. I'm ready for this. So let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. What do you think about this live-action Miles Morales movie? What do you think about this proper Sinister Six movie? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Please remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe. That will be all for me. Remember my catchphrase, guys. Stay super wise.